Hey, well, what's up? Yeah, I just want to record another video while I actually have the energy for it. Um, so I guess you could say this might be like a three-part video. I am not quite sure on how I'm gonna do it, but we'll see as it unfolds. I'm not gonna plan too far in the future right now. So anyway, second part of this video, I guess you could say, is me exiting survival mode and entering a soft life. I guess we could say that. My title might be something like that. But anyway, I just kind of wanted to talk about burnout and really how I got here, because in the last video I kind of explained how I was masking and now I'm not doing that shit anymore, and moving forward how I'm going to show up more as my authentic self just in general, because my body just won't allow me to mask anymore. Pretty much I got into a state of burnout. Yay. And I'm recovering from burnout, but it looks so different from how I was used to functioning. I don't have notes for this actually. I'm just gonna freestyle it, and if it turns out good, we're gonna post it. But so pretty much I got into burnout, and it got bad really, I want to say like 6 months ago, where I got to the point where I'm like, I can't even work anymore. And did I go to work? Of course I did, because I have to live. I'm not gonna be on the streets. Unfortunately, those were the options. Continue to keep over functioning and exhausting myself, or not have a place to stay. So that's fun. I could work when I wanted to work, so that was very helpful. That was kind of like a saving grace for me. I had a really flexible schedule, where if I would say didn't want to go to work, but that sounds like I'm just choosing it. I work when I wanted to work, but I reduced the amount of hours I worked because I knew I was in burnout. I didn't know it was neurodivergent burnout, but I was in burnout, and it got to the point where I'm like, I'm exhausted all the time. I'm not thinking very clearly. I'm not able to keep up with my schedule like I was able to keep up with. And it got to the point where I was just like working just enough to pay bills and have a little bit of like a little bit of extra money. Because other than that, I wasn't able to get out of bed damn near. And I had to make a kind of a hard decision, I guess you could say. Like, I chose to move 1,000 miles back home. Yes. I used to live in Texas, but yeah, I decided to move. I could not afford to drain my mental health anymore, or like get myself in a worse position. And I knew full well, like, had I renewed that lease, I'll be homeless. Why? I would have quit my job, because I wouldn't have been able to keep up with the schedule and any of those things that I was supposed to be doing. I wasn't gonna be able to keep up with it. I thought about it for a couple of weeks, and then I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and fill out my, notice to move out 60 days beforehand. I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna move back home because I can't do this. Some signs, like I said, for burnout for me, I wasn't able to keep up with all the tasks. I was very high functioning. Now I'm not anymore. It feels different because like for so many years I was high functioning. So now that I'm not able to keep up with all of that, and kind of like overachieve and function in the way I did before, it kind of feels a little weird, but I have to be kind to myself, because I'm like recovering from burnout. So it feels upsetting sometimes when I don't have the energy to do things that I want to do, or when like, it really more so that for me, honestly. But like sometimes I feel like I'm not keeping up to like this standard that I had, but even that standard was like fake, because I was showing up as neurotypical and I'm neurodivergent. So I'm kind of honoring that more, in some ways that, I'm kind of combating it, I guess you could say. Again, I still work when I want to work. I'm working even less than I was working when I had my own place. I guess not that it matters, but my rent was like $2,600, and I was not in a mental headspace to continue to pay that. Not at all. And I'm very grateful that I could come back home, because I just was completely burnt out and I couldn't do it anymore, and I couldn't keep masking or keep showing up high functioning, especially for a job that was very social. Like, I had two jobs. I worked in insurance, from home. And then I also was a waitress. I was a server at a sports bar. So that was fun. But like just both of those things kind of just really burnt me out with like talking to people constantly. My social battery was on 0. I'm naturally an introvert, so I really was pushing myself daily to talk to people and to do shit that I didn't want to do. But you know, I had all of these, I guess, societal standards in my head, like, oh, you need to have your own place and you need to do this and you need to do. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I really don't. I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore because I'm going to move at my own pace and I'm going to do what's best for me. And then I kind of thought to myself, like before I decided to move, and I'm like, whose schedule are you on? Who's living in this body that you have? Only you, right? So why are you moving on somebody else's schedule? I don't have to have everything figured out. I don't have to move fast. I don't have to do any of the things that I thought I had to do. Now, am I still going to, like I said, you know, reach my goals and all that? Of course. I'm just going to recover properly and give myself the rest and grace that I need to move forward, because running myself into the ground and burning the candle at both ends is not going to help me to move forward. I'm going to be useless to myself and anybody else if I continue to do that. So right now it looks like I only work like 2 days a week, which I absolutely love and I am very, very, very grateful for. But I don't even want to do that, if I'm being honest, not because, my apologies. I don't even want to do that, because the work is still very draining and very taxing, mentally for me. It's not very mentally stimulating, so I'd be extremely bored and it feels like I'm gonna die of boredom. So we're transitioning out of that, but in the meantime, I just have slower mornings. I do not rush myself. I don't have all of these extremely high, perfect or unrealistic expectations of myself anymore. I give myself a lot more grace, and by grace, I don't mean like I'm just letting shit slide, but I'm realizing when I need to push, when I need to actually rest and take a break, and I don't make myself feel bad for taking rest or needing rest. Like I have to prioritize me, because if I stop, all of this shit stops. So that's how I kind of look at it now. I absolutely hate rushing. That's something I do not do anymore. I get up, have my tea, have a nice slow morning, I journal, I have time to meditate or do breath work before I go to work, when I do go to work. But just I have like a slower morning routine for myself that's really been helpful. I don't overstimulate myself, so I'm not doom scrolling and I'm not just mindlessly or endlessly watching content. I'm more so being present more than anything, and that's helped a lot. But yeah, I guess that's all I can say about that for now. I might make another video. Like if y'all want to know any more about like any of this, let me know in the comments. Like, you know, I would appreciate that. Trying to think of anything else that I wanted to hit on before I get out of here. Nope, I think that's it. So yeah, like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next one, my baby. Bye.